How to go from $0 to $100,000 in 2020. Now, generally on this channel, we show you all types of different ways to work from home, make money online from every corner of the internet. We scour and search for the absolute best strategies to make a little bit of extra money, some side hustles, passive income, work from home, make money online. But in this video, we're gonna be talking about what it actually takes to go from $0 to $100,000 in a year. Because statistically, very few people are actually capable of doing this, but there's a couple of very important reasons why this is. And if you can understand why most people are not capable of doing this, then you can be one of the few who actually is. And a huge problem that I see every single day is something that I like to call the threshold mindset. And what I mean by the threshold mindset is having an upper threshold of what you believe is possible for you, because you're comparing yourself to your friends and to your coworkers, right? Because if every one of your friends works at McDonald's, it probably feels okay to work at McDonald's. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working at McDonald's, but if you want to make $100,000 a year, you're probably not going to want to work at McDonald's because you're not going to be able to do that, especially not in a single year. But then there's also people who compare themselves to other successful entrepreneurs, people who've gone from $0 to $100,000 or $0 to $1 million in just a single year. And so if that is what you're shooting for, if that is the threshold that you're comparing yourself to, then you're actually going to work so much harder to achieve that than if you're just comparing yourself to your coworkers. So if you want more, you have to compare yourself to people who've gotten more. You can't allow yourself to have a threshold in your life where you're shooting for something that's way less than what you actually want. If you want to make $100,000 in a year, you can't compare yourself to your coworkers at McDonald's. You just can't. You're not going to actually work smart enough to ever achieve that. And people struggle all the time with what's called limiting beliefs. And having limited beliefs and not believing that it's possible for you has an unfortunate side effect. I watched a speech that Will Smith gave recently where he said, "He who believes he can and he who believes he can't are both usually right." And so in order to actually achieve your dreams, you first have to believe that it's possible for you to achieve your dreams. And an unfortunate part about human nature is people around you, subconsciously or consciously, actually try to hold you back because they feel threatened. Like they don't want you to actually go out and make it as an entrepreneur, achieve your dreams while they're stuck at their 9-to-5 job in their cubicle or working at McDonald's. And so they'll actually tell you, Kevin, don't go try to be an entrepreneur, right? Don't you know 80% of businesses fail? Don't you know that you're gonna leave your job? You should be grateful that you have this job. And they'll subconsciously or consciously try to actually hold you back from taking the action necessary to go out and achieve your dream. When I was thinking about leaving my job a couple of years ago, every single person told me that I was crazy. My mom told me I was crazy, my coworkers, my friends, my family, everyone. And they weren't doing it out of spite. They weren't doing it to try to hurt me or anything. It's just natural human nature. Humans by nature cling to their comfort zones, what they're comfortable with, what they're used to. But to be able to go from $0 to $100,000 in a single year and to make it out of those statistics, you have to believe that it's possible for you. And you also have to understand that most people in your life, even the people closest to you, will subconsciously try to hold you back. And the funny thing about confidence is the only way to truly have confidence that you know you can do something is by doing it. But the problem with that is once you've already done that thing, the confidence isn't that important. And let me give you an example so this really makes sense. I know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, that I could go from $0 to $100,000 in a single year because I've done it. But the problem is it's not important for me to have that confidence. What really differentiates people who find success and make it out of the statistics is people who can manifest and truly believe in themselves and have the confidence that they can do anything before they've actually done it, because that is how you do it. And that's kind of the problem with the fake it till you make it mentality, because I'm never gonna recommend that people go out and fake something or lie or do anything like that, but you almost have to have that confidence before you've done it. And the only way to do that is by having confidence that you can do it. And so the fake it till you make it mentality is just an easy way to kind of describe the confidence and self-belief you have to portray even before you might actually genuinely have that confidence, because without it, you're most likely going to fail. And so my advice would be to interpret the fake it till you make it mentality to just have that confidence, right? Even if you have to fake that confidence at first, because that confidence oftentimes is going to be the difference that actually sets you apart from other people who, think, oh, well, why would I even try? There's no way I'm gonna be successful. Or why would that person wanna listen to me, right? Like I'm not that interesting. You have to have confidence, whether it's with men or women or whatever you're interested in, whether it's with business. The energy that you put out is the energy that you attract, right? The law of attraction attraction, and you have to have that confidence and self-belief in yourself to have other people believe in you too. And it's really counterintuitive when you're first starting out on your entrepreneurial journey, when you're first starting out in business, right? It's very natural as a human being to think about people and think, okay, how can that person help me? How can they help me? But the problem is successful people actually think about it exactly the opposite. They think, how can I help them, right? How can I add value to that person? Because if you're just focused on making money and all you care about is making money, I can promise you, you're gonna make a lot less money than somebody who prioritizes adding value. Because without a doubt, the absolute best way to make a lot of money is to instead focus on adding value relentlessly as much as you possibly can, but you have to do it in a certain way. Because there's two ways to do it. There's the dumb way and there's the smart way. The dumb way is to add value with a low value skill set. And we can use the same example that we used before, working at McDonald's. And again, I'm not at all trying to hate on working at McDonald's. It's just a very easy example to kind of show the things that I'm trying to talk about, right? People who work at McDonald's save their money, reinvest it into other things and find success, more power to you. But working at McDonald's at the base level is an incredibly low value skill. And what I mean by that is it's very replaceable. Anyone can be taught to work at McDonald's very quickly, right? And if somebody leaves, they can just bring in a new person to do those same things. Everything is very systematized. And even McDonald's themselves is working to replace those low skill workers with machines and tablets and kiosks where you can order without even a person even being involved. But the smart way to do it is to learn what's called a high value skill, right? This is a skill that is not easily replaceable. This is a skill that's valuable to other people, preferably a skill that's valuable to other people or businesses that can actually afford to pay you for that skill set that you develop. Because a high value skill is something that the average person either isn't willing to do or can't do. Now, there's extreme examples like the CEO of a publicly traded company, right? Who knows everything about it. They know all about the finances. They have 30 years experience, right? They've, been the CEO of other large companies. They've grown companies from, 0 to $100 million. That is an extremely high value skill. Now, another example would be like LeBron James, right? No matter how hard I try, I will never be 6'8" with a 40-inch vertical made of pure muscle, right? I just won't. But some people are born with genetic skill sets and talents that you literally can't learn. But the cool thing about high value skills is outside of, professional athletes and things like that, you can almost always actually learn if you're committed to learning a high value skill, and then you can get compensated appropriately for it in the form of consulting, in the form of creating an agency and actually offering done for you services, or even in the form of creating a digital product or a digital course where you can teach and leverage the power of what a digital course is, right? Teaching and being the mentor to hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of people by those people actually logging into a membership, watching the same videos and feeling like they're learning one-on-one from you, even though it's actually a passive income stream for you at that point. Now, high value skills generally have one thing in common. They either make other people a lot of money with the skill set you have, or they bring those people a lot of happiness or value. And there's a lot we could talk about here, but generally there's three things that every single person everywhere needs. They're interested in health, wealth, and relationships, right? So if you learn a high value skill that has something to do with relationships, with health, or with wealth, you're always going to have a market for that skill set that you actually develop. And if you're thinking to yourself, but Kevin, I don't have any high value skills, like how am I supposed to make money? And even if I did, how would I make money? Well, first of all, what I would say is remember that that's not true, right? That is self-doubt tricking you into thinking that you don't have any skills, tricking you into thinking that you're not worth it, right? That you don't have the capability of actually going out and learning something like anyone else, right? Remember, guys, no one starts out an expert. That's not possible, right? Tony Robbins, who I recently saw, said, I wasn't born Tony Robbins. I wasn't born the way I am now. I made Tony Robbins, right? And if you're willing to consistently learn and become a lifelong learner and develop and tune your craft and learn more and more and reach out, to the best other people and collaborate, that is how you can actually grow your skill set and truly grow into the expert. But remember that no one starts an expert. The only people who are experts are people who consistently cared more and had curiosity and wanted to learn and were actually interested in mastering their craft. And I can guarantee you that most actual experts out there wouldn't call themselves experts, because people who are smart enough to become experts know that it's not actually possible for anyone to truly master anything, right? It's a continuous learning process. And so even if you don't think you're good at anything, trust me when I tell you that you are. But if nothing at all comes to mind, then anyone can master digital marketing, right? Digital marketing is something that every single business in the world needs. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, if you're a dentist, if you're a lawyer, every single one of those companies needs new and profitable customers and leads coming into the door that they can actually provide their services for. I have friends and students who specialized in digital marketing for just one type of business, and they've gone on to make 6 figures, or some of them even 7 figures, right? You can become the go-to person for digital marketing for accountants or for lawyers or for plumbers, right? Because every one of those businesses by default has money because they're a business, right? And by default needs new and profitable customers, right? So they're willing to pay somebody who's an expert at digital marketing for that one thing, right? And if you focus all of your attention in a niche that you know has money, like real estate, you can start to make a significant amount of money just through consulting or creating an agency, right? An agency being that you actually just have packages where you do the digital marketing on behalf of those companies. But the problem that most people have is not actually understanding what to do, right? People ask me every single day, Kevin, what would you do if you had to start over and you had no money, no connections, nothing? And I would be doing exactly what I'm teaching you right now. I would get really good at digital marketing for one type of business that I knew had enough money to afford my services, and then I would do that, right? I would find those businesses, I would teach them how much of an impact my skills could have on their business, and then I would ask those businesses for referrals of other real estate agents or whatever business you choose, and you can actually start to create a massive company very quickly with skills that you can learn completely for free from YouTube or from, blog posts or Google. But the problem that most people have is not knowing the path, right? It's actually taking the path. Most people have shiny object syndrome, and they see one thing and they see another thing and they jump from one thing to the next before they actually ever give themselves enough time to truly master one thing. And you have to remember that success is not a linear thing, right? You don't just put in 1 hour of work and get 1 unit of success, right? Most of the time, it feels like you're making no progress at all. You're taking all of these, very consistent actions day to day to day, and then all of a sudden, right, if you're consistent long enough and you're working smart and hard towards the correct thing, all of a sudden, you'll have this explosive, exponential return on all of the investment that you've been making of your time and energy. Because remember, you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. So my advice would be launch imperfectly, right? Just get started. Dive in head first. Learn as much as you can about digital marketing. Identify a specific niche and then start mastering it, right? Do it for free for companies and learn how to do it while you're at your 9-to-5 job. And then eventually you'll start to have the skill set that really is a high value skill that you can charge significant amounts of money for. And if you guys like this video, make sure you tap the like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bells because it really does help with the YouTube algorithm. And if you want more videos just like this, we have a brand new playlist of the best ways to make money online, earn passive income, and be financially free, coming to you live in 3, 2, 1. See you there.